It is my pleasure to introduce a dear friend of mine, Toufic Hakim, also my colleague and the director of your Foundation for Self-Leadership. Toufic.
Thank you, John, for welcoming the Foundation and for always making us feel at home with this community. I'm very pleased to be back with you for this gathering of curious minds, caring hearts, and carefree spirits. Standing here at this high altitude is perhaps symbolic of the expansion of the IFS programs that John mentioned. And getting here took vision, dedication, and determination on part of the Institute's leadership and staff, the IFS training faculty, and many, many of you in this community. The Foundation for Self-Leadership vigorously applauds your efforts. As you well know, the IFS lens and language has uncovered for us an otherwise hidden path to greater inner clarity and deeper inner fulfillment. Through IFS, we gain a more compassionate view of ourselves and of others, even perhaps of our politicians. Well, maybe that's more challenging, but something to think about. Through IFS, we embrace a practice for becoming better versions of who we truly are. These insights and experiences are too powerful and revealing to keep to ourselves. So we generously relay them to our clients and trainees, to our families and colleagues. The Foundation is here to magnify these efforts. We're here to deepen the value of IFS, to broaden its reach, and to shed some light on the transformative qualities of self in the midst of life's thickening dust. And as we move these learnings and experiences out into the world, we inspire greater emotional healing and well-being, far and wide. You see, in these times of chaos and confusion, we must hold on to the unshaken belief that human goodness and human wisdom will pull us through the suffering so we can emerge on the other side all the more resilient, our spirits unscathed. To paraphrase Gibran. And it is within this context and in this spirit that the Foundation must focus on enhancing the IFS model's scientific credibility, academic visibility, accessibility in communities otherwise inaccessible to IFS, and applicability across more and more disciplines, professions, and walks of life. Much has been done by the community and by the Institute to date. Much has been done by the Foundation over the last 6 years. But much, much more, like John said, still needs to be done in order to advance IFS research, serve communities in need, engage in advocacy, and build stronger community connections. And allow me to share a few thoughts about these priorities of the Foundation. Catalyzing independent, rigorous IFS research remains the highest priority for the Foundation. You see, with the Foundation's help, there is a bit of empirical evidence out there, yet it is preliminary and limited. You remember Star Trek's data? We need the whole colony of them. We must generate data, data, data. You may ask, what is the efficacy of IFS in treating depression, anxiety, and various forms of addiction? How do we prove it? Yes, we've all seen it work. Nonetheless, soft evidence alone, however expansive, does not provide compelling stories and compelling reasons to accept the model fully and without any reservation by university psychology chairs and researchers, by chairs of graduate programs, by medical directors in Veterans Affairs and at the VA medical centers, or by insurance behavioral health managers. The pace at which IFS can expand and the extent to which it can be sustained depend intimately on the prevalence of hard evidence and hard empirical evidence to wit. I can do that too. It wasn't planned. This is the kind of empirical evidence that we need because it will facilitate IFS becoming stronger. It will strengthen its position and deepen its presence within psychotherapy, and I'm willing to admit, at least project, that it will empower your practices. With your support, the foundation funded 2 studies, and those studies are showing fairly promising results at this point. And I thank all those of you who participated in this. But our next step has to be stimulating the design and implementation of a phase 2 randomized controlled study of IFS as a treatment for PTSD and depression. We need lead researchers. Please help us find them. We need certified IFS therapists. Please join us. We need ample funding. Please help fund us and direct us to funders. And to get there, we're very pleased to welcome into our midst Elani Tal, our senior research manager, who comes to us with extensive experience with research and with a great knowledge of the VA. And we also want to thank Frank Anderson, who couldn't be with us, for having managed the research programs to date. And please join us this evening at the Foundation Friday community event to learn more and figure out how you can engage with the foundation and research. The foundation is highly committed to serving communities in need, schools and veteran groups among them. To explore how IFS can help a struggling veteran is an obligation and really requires no further explanation. In terms of schools, envision with us school teachers and students empowered through self-discovery, helping them foster a growth mindset consistent with what Carol Dweck urges us to do. In fact, imagine us, imagine our lives today if we had been exposed to IFS early on. With your support, the foundation funded an immersive teacher experience in Minnesota. Thank you, Jody Nelson and your team. Through that project, we helped a few teachers experience a shift in perspective. And through them, they probably helped 200 students annually to become more calm, more composed, and less reactive in the face of adversity. And starting in July, the foundation is funding a 2-year ambitious project, thanks for the support, the generous support through Joy Shivas, a former IFS assistant trainer, so we can examine, among other things, the notion of an IFS, a total IFS model school, where IFS is at the core of social emotional learning, teacher and staff development, and policy design and implementation. And I'd love here to tell you how pleased we are that Joanna Curry-Sartori and Anna Tansey, who have been very active in bringing IFS to Connecticut schools, will be leading this program. Thank you, Joanna and Anna. We must think ahead and think big, and yet take manageable and strategic steps. So please think with us and join Joanna and Jody at lunch at a special table and tonight at the reception to really engage with them around the conversation for bringing IFS to schools. IFS outreach and advocacy and building community connections are also on the radar of the foundation. We must continue to bring IFS to new settings and build soft evidence to complement hard evidence. We need to understand how IFS may have transformed lives and hear the stories of transformation. In fact, talking about soft evidence, please grab our 10th issue of Outlook with its insert on stories of transformation. Read it, share it, place it in your offices. There are gems in this issue, as in many. And I thank all these contributing authors. And a big, big thank you to Michelle Glass and Sean Dempsey, our editing team. Bravo, bravo, bravissimo. And please join us this evening for conversations around how you can build this further. The foundation cannot pursue these priorities alone. We need your support and engagement. We cannot do it without the success of the Institute and your support as well. There's no greater synergy and osmosis than in working together, as separate but together, connected, interdependent. You, the community, the Institute, and the foundation. The foundation stands beside you or behind the scenes. We cheer you on. We generate tailwind for you. Or like an advanced team, we explore ahead to secure the way. If you believe that what the foundation does can benefit your practice, if what we do and how we do it inspire you, and is consistent with your desire to do good in the world and for the world, if you see here a potential for greater impact, please engage. Give us of your time and talent, volunteer, connect us to your local communities, to universities, to philanthropists. Come by at our table and sign up. Support us financially if you can. Give what you can. Give annually, give monthly. $20 a month can go a long way. Think of it as joining the World Emotional Fitness Club. Give us a multi-year pledge. Remember us in your estate planning. Think of the foundation as one of your charities of choice if you can. Your support will help us gather a few more data points, will help bring self-leadership to one more teacher, who will inspire 1,000 students over a career to help expand their minds. You might help one more veteran suffer less. We see you as our community. We hope that you consider the foundation as your foundation. We need and depend on your support. And like our anonymous donor always reminds me to repeat, we together have the ideas. We have the people, you, the staff, the board. What we need is funding to build out the systems and the programs to strive for excellence, to survive, to thrive, and to build out these outcomes on your behalf and alongside you. And I really want to thank our growing circle of donors, and I cannot thank enough the Institute for your continued support, CSL then. And speaking of CSL, I really am wondering how many times we're going to slip and call the Institute CSL by accident. So I have a deal for you. Throughout this conference, if any of us uses the name CSL instead of Institute, I have a curse jar outside the door at our table. Please place $5 in it. Deal? Including you, Dick. I want to again invite you to the reception tonight at 5:45 right outside. Please join us. I know the schedule is tight. I'd love for you to stop by, to connect with us, to share with us your thoughts, so we can think together about the future. Seize the opportunity to give a few dollars, share a lot of ideas, have some light food, take advantage of the cash bar, and get a chance to win one of 5 significant prizes. And of course, like the Everett Company said this morning, please join us at 8 o'clock. The foundation is really very proud to be presenting Good Grief this evening. And I'd be remiss not to recognize our volunteer board of directors who really work very hard on your behalf to promote IFS. A big thank you to our tireless chair, Holly Goldberg, to our board members, Mark Milton, Les Fagan, Pam Krause and Vicky McCoy, who couldn't be with us today, and Frank Anderson, who's rotating off the board, and we thank him for a great run. And a giganormous welcome aboard to our newest member, Rakina Barnes. We're very pleased you could be with us, Rakina. And in closing, let me just echo what we all already know. This conference creates for us a safe space, a brave space, if I may borrow Justice Douglas Mickey Scott B. Jones' phrase, and thank you, Paul Ginter, for sharing that poem with us. We come together into this brave space, maybe to take respite from the outside world, maybe to recharge and pull each other up as we do our inner work, or still maybe to sharpen our saw, to quote Covey, so we can go out into the world and fix the cracks in the sky. Because you know there are cracks in the sky, but please tell Chicken Little, the sky is not falling. And as we come together, we energize each other's enthusiasm for that shared vision that we have, for taking the IFS paradigm, philosophy, principles, protocol into the world. Empowering lives through self-discovery is indeed our collective labor of love. It's a cause greater than all of us. And if we desire for greater peace and harmony within us and across the land, then we must join arms and passion so we can help the world build the capacity to heal itself. The world may be full of suffering, but more notably than that, as Helen Keller told us, it is full of overcoming. Thank you, and see you this evening.